Hi, my name's Erik. I love to draw. It's all I do with my spare time. Even at school, when I'm on a break, I whip out my notebook, sharpen my pencil, and I'd start drawing. When I draw, the rest of the world just fades away. And I guess that's why I don't have any friends. I live so much in my imagination that I never had the time to make any friends in the real world. Sometimes I'd try and approach people. I even made friends during last summer break. But they're not my vibe at all. They don't understand me or how I think. And I don't understand them. All they care about is making TikToks or looking good on the gram, the cut of their muscles or the drip of their fit. Whenever they'd start talking about that kind of stuff, my mind would just tune out and I'd be in my head with the characters I made up. And my friends would tease me for being so different. They would force me to learn TikTok dances with them, and when I'd fail, they'd criticize me. You're such a loser. Yeah, the steps are so simple, man. How are you ever gonna pull any girls with those lame drawings? Just learn how to dance. I don't know if I'd call what you guys do as dancing. Whatever, just get out of the frame. You're ruining our video. Maybe they were right. After all, they were dating a different girl every week. I felt the pressure, and I did feel lonely. So, at night, I started working on my first masterpiece. I called her Mona. She was my perfect girl. I gave her raven hair and a beautiful smile. The clock struck 3. I yawned out of exhaustion and fell asleep against the easel. But when I woke up, she was gone. When I asked my mom and dad, they told me they never came into my room. Did she just vanish? I rushed to the mall. I needed to get more supplies. I was eager to recreate my masterpiece while her face was still fresh in my mind. I went to the art supplies store and started browsing amongst the paints and the canvases. And when I looked up, it was like lightning struck me in the heart. She was just standing there, across from me, looking through the shop's window. And then our eyes met. It was like the universe conspired to have our paths meet. It was surreal, seeing your own creation come to life. She smiled, and then she winked. My brain melted. How was that even possible? That girl looked exactly like Mona. From the smile to every single strand of her raven hair. Was I hallucinating? Did I dream the part where I drew her? That certainly explains why I woke up with nothing on my easel. I went back to class, still plagued by the thought of the girl at the mall. All right, class, sit up and welcome your new classmate. She comes to us from very, very far away. Her family just moved into town. From the north of Italy, wasn't it, dear? What are you doing by the door? Come in, come inside. I knew I wasn't dreaming then. It really was her. And her name was on the board which our teacher scribbled for us. Mona Lisa. The whole class greeted her. They were all abuzz about how beautiful she was. The boys certainly started taking bets about who could ask her out first. But Mona Lisa shocked everyone when she waved at me. She sat right in front of me, and when she turned, she offered me her hand. Hi, I'm Mona Lisa, but you can call me Mona. We met, remember? At the mall. I had to shake my head to snap back into reality. Yeah, at the mall. You were looking at paintings. And I saw someone more beautiful than the framed artwork. You what? You're weird. And so are you. And I like that. So, do you paint? Yeah, I guess. Paint me. She was very assertive. I couldn't bring myself to say no, and she offered to pay me a ridiculous amount. I just hoped she wouldn't be disappointed with what little skill I had. But when I went to her house that weekend to paint my first client, all that pressure and doubt melted away, because Mona posed exactly the same way she did when I drew her that mysterious night. Or in my dream. I still couldn't figure it out. Was I dreaming the future, or did I draw her into existence and magic is somehow real? Either way, I fell in love with her beauty, and when I finished painting her, it looked like a perfect copy of the masterpiece I drew before. Oh, my God, you're a genius. You're a prodigy. This is beyond beautiful. Only 'cause I had a beautiful model. Oh, smooth. But no, seriously, you're way more talented than you think. This needs to be in some sort of museum. Well, you paid for it, so it's yours now. I don't think I paid enough. Here, take this. What? No, you already gave me too much to begin with. I insist. Oh, and are you looking for a job, perhaps? Yeah, I guess. I'll have to start saving up for art school soon. Great! I have just the perfect job for a tall, imposing guy like you. Mona made me her personal bodyguard, and I soon realized why she needed one. First, she was loaded. Second, she was the daughter of a former Italian president. Everyone at school stared, and now they were wondering how an outcast loner like me managed to bag access to the school's most popular girl. Even the other girls are intrigued by my association to Mona. I became popular too. I've never had so many girls come up to me at lunch asking for my number. But as soon as even one of them approaches me, Mona would shoo them away. Nobody steals my man. When December came and snow began to fall, one of the TikTok-obsessed guys I made friends with before I met Mona became jealous. He was even more annoyed that he lost his bet with the other guys that he'd be the first to go on a date with the school's new queen bee. And so he set out to ruin whatever it was that Mona and I had. First, he asked nicely, and I said no. I mean, why should I let someone dictate what I did and who I hung out with? Besides, I was working for Mona. The guys retaliated by breaking into my studio that night. They trashed the whole place, broke my easels, burned down my paintings and drawings. They slashed all my unused canvases and dumped out all my new paints. Luckily, Mona was paying me a heck of a lot, and I just replaced those that I could buy again. And then I just printed my previous works and framed those. But the guys were also not interested in giving up. They waited for us one weekend. We were walking out of the mall after Mona's shopping spree and I was carrying her bags, when suddenly a group of guys in ski masks jumped out at us at the parking lot. Whatever it is you want, you're gonna have to go through me first. And then the masked people just kind of stood there and looked at each other, as if they hadn't planned anything after that moment. Give her to us, right now! Or what? Or we'll beat you up! This awakened a protective nature even I didn't know I had. People called me the gentle giant for a reason. I would never hurt a fly. And yet, that day, I dodged and rolled, and I dropped those guys like nothing. I yield! We yield! Just don't hurt us anymore. And something about that voice told me I'd met them before. No, in fact, they were familiar. Jonah? I learned that the guys pegged me for a scaredy cat. They thought just because they assumed I was a coward, I would run away at the first sign of danger. And that would prove to Mona that I was useless and she would ditch me, paving the way for Jonah and his friends to get closer to her. In what universe would that have worked, dum-dums? Relax, that's my backup security. I told Dad to stop it, but he never listens. You already had bodyguards? Yeah, but not as easy on the eyes as you. Now, come on, I want to get home so I can try out my new dresses. But what about us? Oh, that's totally up to my dad's bodyguards. Who knows? Maybe they'll let you go. Maybe they'll make you float down the river, though. Oh, and before they take you away, I wanted to give you a good look of something you'll never be able to do. I kissed Mona, and I held her close. At first, she was shocked. Then she laughed, and then she kissed me right back. I'll never forget the look of envy on Jonah's face.